Hi, my name is Michael Waits, and welcome to a special episode of the Asia Tech Podcast. We are very excited to speak with Sean Ringsted, the Chief Digital Business Officer at Chubb. Sean, it's great to have you on the show.
It's great to be here. Thank you.
Let's give our viewers a little bit of a quick introduction of you and a general comment on how your role at Chubb intersects with technology and the partner experience.
That's great. Happy to. So what I do day to day is look after our businesses globally that are transacting digitally. So wherever we're trying to put Chubb's products and services in the digital channel, that's what I do, right? And it's a lot of fun.
I'm sure it's a blast. So how does that intersect with the partner experience?
Well, mention the digital channel, right? So what we're doing is transacting with partners. Really, they're our gateway to customers. So B2B2C as a channel. And there, what's really important is to have the technology to be able to transact with partners. But it's more than just the technology, right? Sure. And it's developing the experiences that they want, providing the services and the value creation back to their customers. And so we call that whole wrapper the partner experience. So technology is front and center of that. Think of that as an enabler, right? But I mean, that's really, to me, that gets you in the door, right? And then it's the hard work.
Let's talk about this too. What's the balance between this technological automation and this hope for this frictionless experience, right? And the human touch that customers may expect?
Wow, right? There's a lot in there, right?
Is.
So we could try and unpack that and maybe give your listeners some different perspectives on that. If you're clearly, I mean, I think that the shift that we've all seen, right, is this call it the Amazon effect, right? And I'm the same, right? When I'm shopping, you want that to be frictionless, right? The moment that you're reaching for something like a credit card or to put some details in, or you're going to another screen, right? You drop out. You drop up. It's just not enjoyable. Right. So you can think of that as sort of friction, where you want to eliminate friction, right? And clearly technology is part of that. But you're also thinking of design experience, right?
Yeah.
You know, it's just the whole wrapper around that. Technology enables you to do that. So wherever you have a digital touch point, you want to be frictionless. But in there, I think you said omni-channel as well.
We'll get to that as well, but
and touch, right?
So this automation is really important. This idea of frictionless is also super important as well. You're right. You know, when Amazon introduced one click, it made drop-off so much lower because people realized all of my data is already there. All of my information is already there. I don't have to give my credit card. I don't have to do anything else except hit this button and wait for my product to arrive. This is a really incredible frictionless experience, right? And this is what you're talking about. There are places, though, where humans are necessary. And this is a hybrid experience, yes? Are there circumstances where hybrid is more appropriate and where, in what cases, can technology completely take over? So there are two things there, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So you've got this, wherever technology is relevant, it needs to be frictionless, right? And you can really solve a lot of pain points in a customer journey with technology. But it can't do everything, right? So some examples of where it can't do everything, certainly in sort of an insurance context, right? For complicated products, right? And insurance it's sort of construed, painted as complex across the board, right? If you simplify a number of the insurance products, they're actually quite simple, and so we can help, right, with the explaining and the positioning of those products, and use technology to deliver that in a very seamless, frictionless way, right? As you go up the complexity of insurance, it needs explanation, right? And that's undoubtedly where, right, you need somebody to help you. With that, right? Whether
you just want to come into the loop, right?
Come in, right? And so, you know, if it's a endowment on your home, right? There's a lot of complexity, right? At sort of one end. So that's clearly where you still need to have, and it's very important that you have an agent or a broker. Right. Chubb, we also transact commercially, right? And so you get into commercial transactions. There's a lot of complexity to a commercial transaction. So that's, think about it at the sale the sale point.
Right.
Now think about it at the claim point.
Okay.
Right.
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 And I'll give you an example of the human touch there is just so important.
Very important.
Very important. Right. At that time of need, and that's where you do need somebody. And so we blend it. When a new bank is a great example of a blending. So new bank, we have access there through our partner to over 60 million customers in Brazil. They're one of the largest digital banks globally, and we're selling life insurance. You might think of life insurance as a complicated product that needs someone. But we're transacting that through 3 clicks on a phone.
Right. So this gets back to that Amazon experience you were talking about before.
Right.
3 clicks to buy an insurance product is very fast.
Right. And simple. And you might think that's a product that needs to be done with someone. But we do that digitally.
Right.
Now the claims experience, we do that through a person, because you think about the claims experience on a life person.
But the claims experience is so much more emotional.
It's so much more.
And having a person involved just makes it easier. I want to feel comfortable, right? That's the promise of insurance, is that we're going to be there when you need us. And if a person is there, it feels better. It's in some cases. No,
it feels better, right? And so that's why we do it through people. Even though the sale is done digitally, we fulfill the claims experience with a person. And here's what's interesting too, right? About that, our NPS on the claims experience for that is 92. 92, right?
That's good.
And when we first got it, first saw those stats, we thought they're wrong. You have to go. So something's not right. But it was true. So again, you got this blending here, right? Of the digital. You want to execute that flawlessly where you need it, but you also need the human.
That's such a great example of the hybrid experience. The beginning of it's all technology. 1, 2, 3, done. Claim comes, I just want to talk to somebody.
I got to talk to
somebody.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on a little bit. What have been some of the interesting aspects of integrating technology into the partner experience? We introduced this at the beginning of the conversation, and maybe we should talk about this in the context of Chubb Studio.
Yeah, so Chubb Studio for us that's so important to us, right? That's how we fulfill the insurance part of the value creation to our partners.
Right.
So we integrate into our partners. We can do that through APIs, SDKs, and widgets. So there's a various ways that we can do the technology integration. What that means for our partners is we're delivering sort of the complicated insurance stuff, if you will, right? The sales, the servicing, and the claims. Anything to do with the policy, right? That's being fulfilled, right? On our end, we can deliver that through the technology. And what we've done, we're in 54 countries, 200 partners. What we've done is abstracted a lot of that complexity up into Chubb Studio.
The API layer, though, right?
Right. Well, we have two API layers. So for the partner, they see one set of API, sales and policy and claims APIs, and then underneath that, there's all the spaghetti, right?
That they don't see at all, and to which they're not exposed. Right?
Exactly. That's the beauty of it, right? It's sort of really sort of just plug in. So for us, that's very powerful.
Right. I think a lot of companies in many industries have this whole idea of trying to make the customer experience as good as it possibly can be, and forget about the partner experience. And the customer experience could fall down, if the partner experience is not optimized.
Right.
I would love to know. Like, the inspiration for this must have been amazing. We want to do the same thing for the partners that we do for customers, and make their interaction with us as seamless and as easy as possible, because then they're much more incentivized to provide these products on the other side of their service agreement, right?
Yeah. And what's been interesting, that's exactly right. And what's been interesting, I think, on that journey that we've had, right, is our thinking around a partner experience is now really sort of evolved from technology.
It feels like a game changer to me. Sorry, go ahead.
It is. For us, those meaningful partner experiences have gotten a lot deeper than technology, right? Technology gets you in the door. It's a ticket to the dance. If you can't converse and go toe to toe with the tech teams on APIs and SDKs, how they work, the documentation, security, and all these great things, right? But we're beyond that now, right? I mean, it's still critical and important.
Sure.
Right? But now when we're talking about the partner experiences, it's really understanding, sitting down with a partner, understanding their pain points and the pain points of the customers, the problems that you're trying to solve.
Right.
It's co-creating product, right? And we mentioned sort of in the prior question the complexity around the insurance product, but we can simplify that insurance product and really design something that helps the partner pain points. And then having come up with a product, great, right? But now you're into the design thinking and the experience that you want to create for their customers. You don't want to disrupt any of their digital real estate
At all.
Right? You go in and they're maniacal about every pixel that's on the screen, and rightly so.
They should be, right?
And they should be.
Right.
And they've spent forever, right, orchestrating and perfecting their customer journeys, right? And now what's on the table potentially is, right, you're going to bring insurance in.
Right.
Right, and so it's got to be contextual, relevant at the right point, right? So you're aware of it, but it's okay. I understand it. I understand what I'm doing. This is what I want to do. That is very difficult to orchestrate. And so when we think about the partner experience,
right,
it's really maturing to that point. Yes, I've got the technology. Now can we sit down with the partner, understand their pain points, and then can we deliver and execute on that promise? And
these APIs and this whole system you've created with
Right.
Chubb Studio abstracts away the complexity for them.
It does.
And it doesn't, like you said, it doesn't change their customer experience on the other side. So again, they get all the benefits of this product co-creation,
Right.
and none of the complexity of having to think, oh no, this integration is going to be hard.
Right.
It's not. You can't underestimate how easy the API integration is. And like I said before, it changes the game for this. Because it creates this real close relationship between that partner. It's not just we're going to integrate and then every time we have a new product, we have to change the integration. The APIs are there. And like you said, it abstracts away this complexity on the other side. Everything then becomes more seamless. And that's got to be great for that partner experience.
It's great for the partner experience. And what we just launched as well is another step in that helping of partners. So we've organized and exposed our APIs in a partner portal, so they can go in a sandbox environment.
Oh, right, and test stuff.
And test stuff. Right, it's really cool. I think it's cool.
I think it's super cool.
It's super cool, right? And so we've organized it by verticals, right? So you think of e-commerce and telco, fintech, and so we've organized in that way, and we've shown different propositions, right, that you can introduce into these verticals where insurance is really relevant to their customer base,
right,
but the partner and their engineering teams and so on can sit down and they can test stuff, right? It makes it even easier.
Well, sure, because they don't have to test it. They don't have to test it in a live market per se.
Right.
If they can test it in a controlled environment, see if it works, then they can roll it out with confidence and
right,
not have to worry about it.
Right. Right.
That again is amazing.
Yeah, and they can understand how it's going to integrate, how it's going to fit into their existing tech and customer experiences. So yeah, we're super excited about that.
So let's switch gears again a little bit. You mentioned the word omni-channel earlier,
right?
And I'd like to understand what your view is, particularly in relation to the three biggest, I think, tenets of omni-channel: sales, marketing, and services. And just like any channel, any method, what are the associated challenges with this, and what's your view on omni-channel in general?
I think it's the next step in the journey of what we're doing. I think a lot of talk around embedded. Right.
Yeah.
Embedded's fantastic, and it's exposed real opportunity for us and our partners and customers. But it's not just about like a fully digital end to end. And you can think about a sale originating physically. Right, and then you want to close out that journey digital, right? So you buy an expensive watch in a store as a beautiful watch, right? And you put a lot of thought into that. We can cover that, and we do it digitally. But you want that to be a seamless experience. So that moment of sale may be physical,
right?
But I can close it I can close it digitally.
Right, and this is really important, right? Because you're buying a physical product in a store. Again,
Right.
when you buy a nice watch,
Right.
you want to talk to the salesperson.
Right.
But then you embed the insurance into
Right.
it and create this digital experience at the end. This is omni-channel.
Think of it as omni-channel, phygital. We like to call it, right? And I think a great analogy of that would be the Apple Store, right? You think of Apple as a tech firm, right?
It's a great example. Go
right?
ahead.
And you've got the phone,
Yep.
and of course you go to the App Store and you download, and it's beautiful, right?
Really beautiful.
Now think about the experience when you're in the Apple Store,
Yeah,
right? It's beautiful,
unbelievable.
unbelievable. And okay, so I want to try out the latest iPad because it's got this awesome new set of features, right? I'll go to the store
Every time
I want to try it, right?
Sometimes I go there even when I'm not buying stuff.
Right.
It's such a great experience.
Right? And then you buy stuff, and now think about that experience when you buy Apple stuff.
Right.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
beautiful.
Right? It's beautiful. They know who you are. You pay your Apple Pay, and so on. All of that is this seamless digital experience.
Right.
And so you can think of omni-channel in that way. You've got there's a physical start to the sale, but the rest is fulfilled. In the same way, we may acquire and do acquire customers digitally, but we'll also close it out. We have significant call center capability, right? And so a customer's gone through, they've been exposed digitally, they've done their awareness, they've done their research, and they just simply want to call somebody to say, I don't quite understand this term, right? Or is this the right thing? Yep. And so on. So you can close it out digitally. You can start it digitally.
Right.
And then you're also thinking about cross-sell and upsell of products, right? You can start with a simple product, but you may want to add more coverage or buy a different product. And as we were talking about earlier, as you get into more complex products, right, then you need somebody there to help and explain it. So I think this omni-channel is very important on the sales side. Right. And then on the service side, it gets really interesting too, right? Because you just want to be there. Right. I love, right, these chatbots.
You do.
I love them.
I love them. It's so efficient. You can ask them anything.
And
they're getting so much better. If you think about what they were like 5 years ago,
right,
and what they're like today, so much better.
Yeah, I came across this beautiful omni-channel experience actually with an airline, which really surprised me.
Wow.
And I was trying to change my flight, and I couldn't tell. I was on the phone. I was with a chatbot, and I was also getting messages through the phone. Right. So 3 different.
This is omni-channel.
It's omni-channel, and the way it toggled across, it was beautiful.
Really,
right? It was just seamless. So you can orchestrate great omni-channel experiences. At the end of the day, though, you have to really understand: do you, Michael, do you want to talk to somebody? Right. Great, I'll pick up the phone, and I'm going to have a great experience. Right? If I want to do it through the bot, I'm going to have a great experience. So it's really important, and we spend a lot of time, energy, and effort on this, orchestrating the right omni-channel experience for the servicing and then also for the claims.
Right. Again, the reason why I want to bring this up is because there's this sense that omni-channel is just a sales thing, and it's not.
It's not.
It's the full experience, and that includes the service, the sales, and the marketing side of it too, right? Because you want to approach people where they are, anywhere. This gets back to like any channel, anytime, right?
Right.
Exactly.
It's any channel, anytime. You want to approach people where they are. You also want them to be able to approach you in the way that they want to.
Exactly. Right. So there are some companies that just want to do one thing or this thing or that thing.
Right.
You have to be wherever they are and in the way that they want to be served and sold to.
That's right. That's right.
So Chubb recently released a report entitled Banks and the Digital Wallet Race, the Embedded Insurance Strategy. And this was a global survey, right, of established banks, fintechs, and consumers in which Chubb wanted to gauge perceptions of banks and fintechs that have explored or implemented digital insurance offerings for their customers. Some very interesting data points arose from this study, right? Can you give us some insights here?
I'll try and encourage everybody to download it. Because it was a very I think thoughtful report and comprehensive in how it approached it, because we spoke to partners,
right,
across the globe. So we had depth that way. We also spoke to customers, and a couple of, I think, sort of interesting data points around this. The majority of partners, they expect revenue coming in from insurance in 3 years to be more than 10%. Today, that's only 20% of partners think that way.
Okay.
Right? So you got 20% growing to a majority in the next 3 to 5 years, where insurance, I mean, I think a revenue stream of 10% is impactful.
Right.
And then when you look at the customers and individuals, again, the majority, significant majority, I mean, you're talking 2/3 to 3/4, are saying, look, I want to buy more insurance. Right? I believe I'm underinsured. Right? And I think that's true when you take a step back and you think about all the things that, whether it's your digital assets and things at home and
I'm looking around at all the things that I have, and I'm just thinking, am I underinsured?
I'm underinsured. And then also, how do I buy that? Well, I want to buy that digitally, right? Where I can. So for me, I think that's really interesting. Right? You've got on the partner side an expectation, right, that insurance is going to provide a more meaningful impact to their business model, and you've got on the demand side, right, customers saying, I need more insurance,
more coverage.
I need more coverage, right, and I want to be able to do that digitally. So when you look at those two things, I got really excited, right? Because that's where we come straight in, right? And help, right? We can help customers get the insurance. We can do it digitally, and we can help our partners be more successful.
This was a global study, right?
Yes.
I want to break down a little bit, because embedded insurance does more than just give coverage and just make it easier to get coverage, right? I was thinking, we buy cameras, we buy microphones,
right.
And it would be great if I could just get the insurance. I don't want to do it when I get home.
No,
I literally want to. When I buy it, I want to feel safe. If something goes wrong, I'm covered.
Right.
I don't want to have to take care of it later, fill out some kind of thing, right? So this is where embedded is really great. But can we talk about how it also builds trust, and how maybe this is different by region as well?
Yeah.
You did this whole study, right?
Yeah, I think that's a really interesting question and point, I think, right? So, because when you think about the model of B2B2C,
right,
and you sit down with partners, right, and you could sell insurance, okay, and it could be just about revenue, right, because you're paying partners for access to their customer base, right? I mean, that's the simple business model, right? They have a cohort of partners, whether it's in banking or e-commerce or an airline, and you're paying for access. So it's a revenue stream to the airline, right? That's one way to think about it. One way to look at it. Another way to look at it on top of that is thinking about retention, right? I'm providing something additional to my customers, right? There's a sort of a service, value-added service piece to this, right? So am I going to build greater sort of retention through that loyalty from my customer base? And what really came through in the survey, and it was particularly true in Asia, was this idea of trust, right? So actually, what you're doing is creating trust with the customer base, because now here's something that's more personalized, and it's about you. It's protecting you, your family, your stuff, your house, and so on. So this trust element really rose to the top of the survey. And I've just coming back from Philippines and Thailand, spending some amazing time with our partners, and this really came through in the discussions as well, right? It's about for a number of them, this is about financial inclusion, right? And we're talking about resiliency as well, right? So this idea that insurance can be there to provide a level of trust really resonated, and I think it's so important, because we can we talk a lot about embedded. We talk a lot about transactions, right? Sort of moment in time, boom, boom. It's almost like commercial. But what you're doing over time, and if it's done in the right way, right? This is about building trust.
I agree. Look, I was just thinking as you were speaking, when I shop, I only shop at the places where I feel covered.
Right. Where you're getting
where I feel like I can trust the person. We went and bought some stuff yesterday, and I just went to the guy that I always shop from.
Right.
I just feel safe.
Right.
And that's what this does, right? And particularly in Asia, at least in my experience, is that 10 years ago, whether it was mobility or banking or fintech or e-commerce, there was a lack of trust there. And by embedding insurance into the product, people feel like, I can use this now because I feel safe.
I feel safe. It's relevant, right? It's providing. I
get it easily.
I can get it easily. I'm just providing value to me and my family.
Exactly. Okay. Before I let you go, just some final thoughts. What do you think are the most exciting opportunities you see for Chubb Digital in Asia in the next 5 to 10 years?
In Asia,
you can go global. It doesn't matter to me.
No, we love Asia. We love Asia. We're really excited about the opportunities in Asia, right? When you look at the growth curve that it's on with the economy. You look at all the amazing businesses that are being created out here, and what people are doing in terms of building a newer fabric around society and the economy as a whole, and it's digital front and center of all of that, right? I mean, you mentioned the wallets, the fintechs, the payment mechanisms, everything is done digitally. So for us, it's super exciting, right? Because we're here, we can transact, right, and deliver the Chubb brand and promise in the digital channel, right? And then what we're doing, as we touched on, we're providing such a value proposition here, right? When you look at some of the trends that globally, and I don't think Asia's any different, right? Whether it's cyber, right? Whether it's healthcare, right? Whether it's climate change and these sorts of things. So it's trying to build a resilient economy and society. Insurance has such an exciting role to play in that, and I think it's often sort of glossed over, right? The how just relevant, exciting insurance is. We touch everything. We touch everyone. Such a role to play, right? So, and when I look at sort of the next 5 years, it's all of that.
It is.
It's all of that, right?
It really is.
It's super exciting.
Thank you very much. Sean Ringsted, the Chief Digital Business Officer at Chubb. Thank you so much for doing this today.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here.